Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we are going to be doing a safari set. So I did the earrings ahead of time. They're drying, but we are going to work on the pendant. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So I'm going to pull this off just to show you the earring. Look how beautiful that is. So we're going to make a matching set or a matching pendant to go with these earrings. I love these earrings. I can't wait to show you exactly how I did them. The pendant is exactly the same as the earrings. So you're going to get your Primo clay, get your gold and roll it out to your thickest setting. You want it to be your thickest setting for the simple fact that these are detail cutters and you're going to want the impression to show up. I'm going to put a little bit of baby powder on my clay just to make sure my cutter does not stick to my clay. So press down on that, lift it straight up, and you have a beautiful cut piece. Smooth your edges. There's not much smoothing. Look how beautiful. I love that we are able to take this and turn it into this. And I can't wait to show you all the steps because it really is beautiful. Grab your little tree stamp. So this tree stamp came from this set. I'll link everything for you guys. I'm actually going to lay this down. The stamp has been used so much that it's just not sticking to my acrylic anymore. So I'm going to kind of lay it where I want it and then just press down to get an even mark there. And look how gorgeous. You can see how pretty that is. Then I'm going to grab my alcohol ink and a small paintbrush. We don't need anything big. Grab something that you can dump your alcohol in. Just one drop. I'm going to put one drop right on the pendant, right where that tree is. And then I'm just going to help spread that. And the reason I'm using the tiny one is for right inside these little small areas. The ink spreads real nice, so you don't have to worry about it. And then what I like to do is get my wipey and put it right over and soak up anything extra. And I do that because if you don't, it gets really, really dark. And then I will just clean up anything that's spread too much. And don't worry about the gold changing because we are going to be putting a little bit of acrylic paint on this just to make the color a little bit darker. I don't like the bright gold, so I'm going to show you quickly. Here's the bright gold. That's it finished, okay? And then this is what it looks like by the time we're done. So this is much nicer than not doing anything to it. So this was like my little practice piece. Okay. Then get a needle tool. I just made this. This is just a regular needle that I put clay over. And then we are going to make little swirly marks, kind of like you would see water waves, you know, or if you were going to imagine the wind. We just want little marks right around our tree, only in the top section. And you don't have to go too deep. We're just making little marks. So when we put our acrylic paint on this, it'll go into these lines and make our piece more detailed. So that's what you want to do. Very, very simple. Just take something pointy and make those little marks. Now we're going to bake our piece. We want to bake it for, I'm only going to bake mine for 20 minutes because I just want to make sure it's hard enough to wrap my other pieces around and do my back and things like that. So while that's in the oven, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this bale. So I already did it ahead of time, but I'm going to show you guys how I did it. I'm just going to take my 20 gauge wire, and this is how, the same wire I used for my earrings. And this one, I'm only going to do 2 loops instead of 3. So that's about the length that you need. You do not need a lot of it. Take your round nose pliers, go right in the middle. Hold it down and bend it. And then turn it over. Come back around and then bend this one. And then you'll have 2 loops. So you'll see 2 little circles there. Push it up there tightly. And then I'm going to take my wire and twist it. That's it. And then we're going to go over. And then we're going to make a little box. And this will help make sure that your piece never can come out of the clay. So just keep making your little box. I'm going to clip that off. Right in the middle. And then bring that one over. So you're almost making a little figure 8 in some way. And then I'm going to clip off that extra. So you'll naturally have that. Now I'm going to take my little hammer. I have one of these. And I'm going to hammer this part flat. Now I'm not going to show you how I do that because I have to do it on the floor. Otherwise I'll knock everything around. All right, so now that part is flat and I hammered this part, but I am just going to take it and just readjust it so everything lays nice and tight to each other. And there. And it'll look really nice once it's embedded in the clay. But that's how you did it. So I did this with 3. And then this one is with 2. So I'll line these up, see which one I like better with my pendant, and go from there. All right, so my piece is out of the oven. And next what we are going to do is get our acrylic paint. And this is just a chocolate bar color. It's quick drying and super easy to clean up. So get a paintbrush and a wipey. And then you're just going to take a little bit of your brown paint and go right over your entire thing. And push that paint into all those little crevices that you just made. Don't worry about if you get it on the tree. It doesn't matter. It'll wipe off. And then I'm going to go right down here to get in between all my little marks here. I want to get this whole thing brown. And then take my wipey and wipe it off. And I'll leave some of that brown on there because I want it to be almost like a shadow and darken up that gold. And now you'll see all that brown paint is going to stay right in all those crevices. So all that bright gold will finally be gone. If you want it to stay bright gold, then leave it the way it is. Then you're going to take your cane. If you do not know how to make this cane, I have made a video on it. I'll see if I posted it yet. If I didn't, I will try to post it. I know that I made a couple things. I made a collar and I made a bracelet and another pair of earrings using this cane, and I showed how exactly to make that, but I don't think it's on my YouTube yet, but it's very, very simple. I will try to see if it is. If it's not, I will try to get it up very soon. But this is my giraffe cane, and I am just going to take a couple slices off. I'm going to say maybe about, let's start with 3. And then I'm just going to break it up into 3 pieces. And then I'm going to take my finger and mush it. I want to flatten it out. I don't want it to be too thick, so I am going to mush it. Let's get it nice and flat. And you don't have to mush it all the way down, just enough that it's not overly thick. And I pull that up with my knife. Get your oven baked clay adhesive. Put some of that on your tile. And just using your finger, go right around the edge. And then I'm going to take my cane and start placing it on there. So I want it to have a little lip to go over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and pull it over just like that. So it'll kind of wrap. And then line it up and do that all the way around your piece. When you get to the edges, take any blending tool and just blend those pieces together. All right, so that's what you will have so far. Smooth your top out. Make it look as nice as you can get it and even. Your sides. And now your back will look like that. So what I like to do is just take my blade and trim my back up. And that's what we have so far. And now I will take the rest of my glue here, put it right on the back. Get some more. Spread that around. Get all your edges. And then I have the same clay that I used for my cane. This is just a blend of brown and gold. I believe that's all that I put in there. And then we're just going to cut it. This is rolled out to a number 4 on my pasta machine. So it's right around like the middle section. And you do not want it thin because then you could cut out the exact shape without impressions coming through. And then let's see what size I like best. I'm going to go with the bigger one. So I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to put my clay right on top. And then carefully start pulling it over. And then I'm going to take, this is a kitchen sponge. And I'm going to start pressing down and texturing my back. But this also takes air out. And it really seals it to your clay. It gets your clay to seal nicely together. Make sure no air is anywhere under there, because if you get a bubble when it bakes, it's going to blow up. And then you're going to have this big lump and bubble on the back of your pendant, and it's going to look really ugly. So just take a little bit of time and make sure no air is under there. I'm going to take my stamp, press that in, and then there's my stamp. And then we have this beautiful pendant. Make sure everything still looks good on the front. Sometimes your stuff will move, so you want to be a little bit careful. Just double check it, make sure it all looks good still. And then lastly, I love that. I think that looks fabulous. Lastly, get a paintbrush, and you want a small one, and then get your paint again. I'm going to put a little bit in the lid, just a tiny bit. And then we're going to paint these. Actually, I'm going to get a bigger brush because they're not earrings. So they're not earrings, so I can actually use a bigger brush to get more paint. All right, so now I will bake this piece for a full half hour. This is all Primo clay, so it's going to be 275, half hour, and then we will return and finish this piece up. My piece is out of the oven. It's cooled off. This is what it looks like so far. Absolutely love it. So now we got to put our UV resin on to really make it pop. So what I did with the earrings is I got a little bit of my UV resin. I put it in my little silicone mold here. And then I'm going to put just a tiny bit only on the tree. I'm not going to get anywhere else on the top, just the tree area, because I want that to be nice and shiny. And now we're going to put UV resin on the parts that are raised. These are my little giraffe prints. This little stick is perfect for this type of stuff because it just holds onto the resin, and then you can spread it really nice, and it still leaves like that raised part of the UV resin. All right, so now I'll put this under my UV light for about 3 minutes. All right, so lastly, I have my bright tone here. This is the matte. I do not want the rest of my piece to be shiny. Now I have a little shiny spots here from baking it on this piece. The matte, the bright tone takes that shininess away. So I am going to just go right over everything. and all those little shiny spots will disappear. We could go right over the part where we put the acrylic paint. I'm avoiding my resin. I am not going to go inside that area. If you want to go inside that area, you feel that it's necessary, put this on before you do the UV resin. And now I'll just hang this up and let this completely dry. All right, guys, so my piece is completely dry. I want to show you how beautiful this came out. I absolutely love this. So you can see that the little spots for the giraffe and the tree are all highlighted, bright, shiny. And then look at the back. You can see the bright tone took all those little shiny spots away. I did not sand anything, and it worked like magic. I absolutely love bright tone. If you use the matte, it takes that shininess right away. You do not have to sand anything. And then, of course, I want to show you the matching earrings. And look how gorgeous those are. Absolutely beautiful. I love this set. I think this is a unique, one-of-a-kind set. And it's special. And I really hope I did 2 pairs of the earrings. A lot of times my daughter will just want to wear earrings and not a pendant, or other people will just want earrings. But I love the idea of having a complete set. I hope that you guys really enjoyed creating these pieces with me. If you did, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe. I will list everything in the description area for you. And you guys have a beautiful day. See you next time. Bye.